All right, so 2022's 3,000 Years of Longing is directed by George Miller, written by George Miller and Augusta Gore, based on the short story The Djinn and the Nightingale's Eye by A.S. Byatt. And stars Tilda Swinton as Aletha? I think it's Alethea, my bad. And Idris Elba as the Djinn. And if you don't know the synopsis of this movie, a lonely scholar on a trip to Istanbul discovers a Djinn who offers her 3 wishes in exchange for his freedom. So yes, kind of like a genie. I mean, this is something we've seen multiple times. First thing that comes to mind is Aladdin, obviously. And there's some similarities to those types of films, but I think this film is definitely doing its own thing, doing something different from what a lot of the other films have done. Is that a good thing? I'll get into that in a minute. I actually have a lot of notes on this movie, and a lot of times when it comes to movies I really like, I don't take as much notes, but with this one, I have a lot of criticisms. I have some compliments, but mostly criticisms. Um, I mean, a lot of it, I can respect what they were trying to do. I can respect what they actually did. It's just the end product that feels a little sloppy for me, especially towards the third act, towards the ending. It just felt really rushed, and I don't know, it just didn't quite make sense because we didn't, and I'll get into that in a second. Don't let me get ahead of myself, but yeah, Idris Elba, the Djinn. The Djinn is actually something that I'm familiar with because of Miss Marvel. Got the poster in the background there. That's kind of the villain of the first season of Miss Marvel for the most part, and so when I heard it in here, I was definitely surprised to hear it. I was not expecting it. I didn't know much about this film going into it. All I knew is that Tilda Swinton's character had 3 wishes from a genie-like person played by Idris Elba. So, yeah, interesting concept for sure. And they do a lot of different things with this movie. A lot of it is actually just the backstory of Idris Elba's character, getting to know like his origin, how he ended up in this situation that he's in, being in a bottle, and the different people that he meets along the way. So, I mean, if anything, Idris Elba is more the main character, but it's Tilda Swinton's character that we open with, which is kind of the problem because honestly, she probably gets the least screen time out of most of the characters in this film. And by the end, they just kind of shoehorn this whole plot between her and Idris Elba. A certain, I don't really want to spoil it for people that want to see it, but they kind of shoehorn this plot involving Tilda Swinton's character and Idris Elba pretty much at the very end of the movie. They meet each other early on in the film, but the plot and the take that they do at the very end, like I said, just comes at the end. So it feels kind of rushed. It fades to black so many times towards the end, and you're just like, is the movie over? And then nope, it comes back. It really drags on. I mean, it's an hour and 48 minutes, close to 2 hours long. It's really not that long of a movie, including credits. And the ending was just so dragged on. I think they probably could have cut like maybe 10 minutes out of this movie. I don't know. Another problem is this is based off of a story. I can't talk right now, apparently. This is based off of a short story. So, I don't know how accurate everything is in here. But since it's a short story, I imagine a lot of things that happen in this film are made up due to not having any other material and having to fill time. And I'm not even reading any of my notes right now, but I haven't felt this way about a movie in a long time, to the point where I like have so many notes and so many thoughts on it, yet I still don't like it for the most part. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. So I guess let me look at my notes here. Just from the beginning, sorry, kind of moving my phone there. Just from the beginning, I thought there were really slick transitions and editing, but throughout the film, as the film went on, it kind of started to lose a little bit of its flavor, a little bit of its flair. And don't go into this movie thinking it's like an all-out comedy or like all-out sci-fi fantasy kind of stuff, because it's really not, to be honest. I mean, you have the Djinn there, so that kind of makes it sci-fi-ish, I guess you could say, fantasy. And those aspects are cool, but the film is really about the people that Idris Elba's character, the Djinn, comes into contact with, the people that he helps out, the people that he grants wishes to. The movie is more about them than anybody else, which I can appreciate for sure. Seeing these little snippets of life from different perspectives, and I love that aspect of it for sure. But I just don't know how I feel about the execution as a whole. There's a lot of things I really like in this film, and then there's more things in here that I probably don't like and things I have problems with. I think that ending really did ruin the movie. The whole plot they have between those two characters, it feels just really shoehorned in. Did it ruin everything? Not necessarily, but it was kind of a weird ending. It was one of those endings where you're just like, what? Weird. And like I said, it really dragged on. Like felt like there was a whole other movie in that last like 20 to 25 minutes. And yeah, it's kind of like the movie I was expecting it to be, and it really wasn't. Um, man. All right, let me read off my notes here, or else I'm just gonna be spewing out bullshit. But yeah, we spend over the half the movie telling the Jin's backstory to the point where they don't spend enough time focusing on his interaction with Alethea. That being said, it's because Alethea doesn't have a desire for anything, so she doesn't have anything she really wants to wish for. And she's just kind of listening to his story throughout the film. And then by the end of it, she ends up actually making a couple wishes. So, yeah, there you go. Let me see. That being said, I think that his story is somewhat sad but entertaining for the most part. Such an interesting concept, something that's been done before plenty of times, but with a different perspective and personality. I would definitely say that. This is a very slow-moving film, so prepare yourself for that if you do want to go watch it. It's because the impression I got from the trailer is that it was going to be a comedy. There are a few moments of comedy in this movie, and if there is actually moments of comedy in this movie, I just didn't find them funny. But, there's a few things in there that are meant to make you laugh. I was in a theater with maybe 3 other people at most, so there wasn't much of an audience to kind of gauge reactions from. But, let me see here. Weird ending that didn't completely make sense to me. I already said that I kind of was expecting more of a comedy. I already said that they really dragged out the ending there for sure. That was so dragged out. They probably cut to black like maybe 7 times just in the last like 20 minutes. And I was just like, come on, you're going to make people think your movie is ending continuously. And then you just open back up and it's yet another thing. I mean, I get it if it's a montage, but don't fade to black each time if it's more of a montage. Like, a montage probably would have worked a lot better in this sense, but instead they just kept fading to black, coming back, 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 and then it fades to black again, and you're just like, oh, are they coming back? Nope, the movie's over. So some of the editing in here is not great, and then some of it's just like really good, especially towards the beginning. I think the beginning of this movie, and one of the dudes walking out of the theater was like, what'd you think? And I was like, eh. He's like, I thought it was all right. The beginning was a lot stronger than the rest of it. And thinking about it after walking away, I was like, yeah, absolutely. I think the beginning had a lot of flair, a lot of, I don't know, just seeing the Jinn for the first time, Idris Elba for the first time, his first appearance of him meeting Alethea. That scene is really cool. And I was expecting a really fun time throughout the rest of the film, and then it just completely slowed down. It's more story-driven, more character-driven, which I can appreciate, but it's not what I was expecting, so maybe that took it down a few notches for me. I don't know. But let me see. Yeah, by the end, I was kind of ready for it to be over, just because of how many times it was fading to black, and I was just like, just fucking end it already, jeez. Let me see here. For having such fantastical elements, you'd think it'd be more entertaining. And these are all just my opinions. There are a lot of things of beauty in this movie that I enjoy. The Jinn, Idris Elba's character, learning about humankind and falling in love with them and finding beauty in it. Like, I appreciate that shit so much, dude. But it kind of feels like it's not in the right movie, you know? And again, based off of a short story. So again, I don't know how accurate it is. I don't know how much inspiration they pulled from it. But I don't know. I feel like this movie should have been something else. Let me see here. Once she makes a wish, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because we haven't spent enough time with her as the main character to completely know why she would make that wish. The main thing is the wish that she makes involves the djinn. So, like, I don't know, I understand, like, hearing his story and whatnot, but we didn't see enough of her and the djinn actually connecting for her wish to make sense. It was just kind of like one of those, hey, might as well do this kind of movie now. And I didn't like that. They were trying to balance too many different tones, too many different plot lines, and I don't think it completely worked out for them. Had major pacing problems for sure. Uh, I mean, some of the stories that he was telling, they would take a little bit longer than others. And I mean, at the end of the day, the thing they really needed to do more was actually have Tilda Swinton and Idris Elba's character interact more and have more scenes together, because they have scenes together in between the stories that he's telling. And then by the end, like the last 20-ish minutes, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, is just them. And I feel like, isn't that kind of what it should have been most of the movie? But yeah, there you go. There's my thoughts on 3,000 Years of Longing. Got to be honest, I was hoping to like this movie more. I was expecting a lot different things. And I mean, I'm appreciative of this film, not only for having some of those elements that I really appreciated and enjoyed, but for also giving me a movie that I had a lot, like, I had a lot of thoughts and notes to take, a lot of opinions on it. So I appreciate movies that can actually really engage me in talking about the movie, whether it be good or bad. It still kind of makes me think about stuff and elaborate on stuff more. And I mean, I was writing a lot of notes. I was even sitting in the parking lot for a little bit taking more notes about it. I was just like, I have so many thoughts on this movie, surprisingly. But yeah, have you guys seen 3,000 Years of Longing? Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you in the middle? I am definitely in the middle, meaning leaning more towards not hating it, but not liking it. Not going to be rewatching this film anytime soon, or maybe ever. Not going to end up on my top 10 worst of this year, most likely. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. It's a possibility. And then not going to be on my top 10 best, obviously. For those of you who have not seen it, are you going to see it? Did my review make you not want to see it? Or did it make you just be like, hey, fuck it, I'm still going to go watch it? I would like to know that also, so comment down below. And anybody who has seen it, don't spoil anything down in the comments below. I know this isn't like a huge spoiler-filled movie, but still there's things to be spoiled in every movie. So don't be a dick. Don't do that in the comments. But I would love to know your opinions. And leave a like on the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And I'll see you next time, where I should be reviewing maybe like She-Hulk episode 3. I won't be posting again until Thursday. So yeah, there you guys go. I will see you in the next one.